No, I appreciate you coming on. Wanted to chat with you because I'm always looking through just where we're getting bookings and what's going on, and then your name kept coming up, and I noticed you had used us at a few different locations. So wanted to talk with you and just get your perspective on Truck Parking Club, and what you like about it, what you dislike about it, and get feedback. This feedback's really valuable for us to understand and what we can do better and what you like, but also what we can do better. The first question I would have is, how did you find out about us?
I think I actually Googled y'all, and then
Gotcha.
I saw it pop up. No, wait, no shit, no, I didn't. I saw a TikTok. You were
Yeah.
you had the van, uh, and it was almost like there was, if I recall, because this was, of course, like this was a while back, I think, but it was the one where you had your uh Sprinter van, and there was like a drone going up, and then yeah, I think that was it. I don't think I was. Then I googled you, and then I was like, wait, and then I went back and then tried to find, and then I saw an app, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And of course, since I've been on here, I've noticed that you've added a lot
Yeah.
to the
We had on average 1 to 2 new properties a day,
nice.
um, which means like we'll have days where we get zero, then a day where we get three or four, and then a day where we get one. Like, I think we had over the weekend, we had a day or two where we got maybe four properties in a day, five properties in a day. So those are exciting days if we're getting them in new cities because we know that we're going to be able to provide more options. We're trying to get in all the major cities at this point. Um, cool. So then also, where all have you used us to book, and what has that been like?
Memphis, Dallas. Uh, there was that one around Atlanta. Yeah, I actually got my buddies, my best friends, who joined it because they hit me up and be like, "Where you get a parking?" And of course, 8 o'clock at night or something, and then you already know the business. 8 o'clock at night, trying to find a parking spot, and I got Rufus, he hooked on it, and then Bruno, he got one. Actually, he stayed here where I'm at, but I, I I enjoy it. The only headache one I found was the Dallas Fort Worth one, but
Yeah.
that's because they don't have any. The only reason there where like this Memphis one where it was very uh like you had the on-site security
Hmm.
tell you, and then you roll up in there at the one in Dallas, and then that particular place they didn't have any like on-site security, and then to just to be honest, it was that particular was a little clusterfuck, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Gotcha.
because
Uh,
they just kind of let everybody park wherever they wanted, and then there was no on-site security. And then but I mean, it was a place to park, but I mean, just out of all of them, that was just the one that was like it was paid private, parking, but there wasn't nobody there to like, hey, where? And then that was one thing I was kind of like, I went like I was the only thing that thought through my head is at that particular location at that time is I wish there was like a spot set aside for us, kind of like some of the spots that you do where they allow you to put the signs.
mm,
Of course, I know you can't do that at every location because I'm sure not every location allows you to do that, do they?
yeah. Yeah. Some locations won't. So at Dallas, I know we got several complaints about because originally it was, I guess, security, and then we started getting a lot of bookings there, and they're like, "There's no security." You're telling like, and it we ended up realizing that it was wrongly marked. That I think originally they had it for a short period of time, and then I guess they got rid of it, but in those scenarios, you can leave reviews for every location that you stay at. Um, where, you could just mention that, it the property was supposed to have security
Yeah.
guards, but it didn't, and it felt unorganized. Um,
Of course, at the end of the day, like I'm very like I get it because at the end of the day, I look at it. You won't catch me complaining really because at the end of the day, it's a place to park that semi truck and place to because Dallas or anywhere you already know how it is. Like I was parking at 10 o'clock at night or some shit. I recall. So I mean, you already know the struggle already. If I go to Love's Automatics off the table before I got with your company, my only options were Pilot and TA, and those are always a hit or miss because I've been in a situation, to be honest, with a Pilot. Uh, Went home, booked a was saw I was going to come by home, booked a spot with Pilot, and then as a driver, this has been a headache in a handbasket. Is you'll buy a spot with them and they don't even follow their policy. So like where it says, you got to follow it gives you a little rundown whenever you do it over the phone, and it's
yeah,
like you can be towed, owner's expense, blah blah blah. You understand the Pilot Flying J prime parking. And then you get there ain't no parking, just everybody's parked, and then you're like, hey, I got a spot. And I happen to want to do a 34, and that's why I love yours because yours is more private, and it's like you're not going to have an issue with that, but also that you can drop your trailer. You can go to Walmart. You can go get you something to eat. You ain't got to worry about that with TA and Pilot. You get those, there'll be some little jackasses sometimes. It's like you'll have a full empty parking lot, and then you
yeah,
know, hey, can I get two receipts? Drop my trailer. It's like, no, no, there's no drop trailer. It's like, you got a whole parking lot. I'm gonna be gone for like 2 hours or something. But
yeah,
uh, but no, the one on hometown though, that was some shit because I almost had to call the cops for my own spot because the woman was saying that we can't. Our district manager said that we can't call the cops or we can't tow anybody. And I was like, what do you mean? Like they're just sitting there. They didn't pay for shit. And then she went out there to go try to get them to move. And then they were like, I'm not moving. I was like, where's the son of a bitch at? But
yeah,
that's what I love about you is like I love the app and I love like I don't really give a shit about like it ain't as long as it's a piece of land where I can park the truck. Of course, you're gonna have some that are better than others, but
yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, I ain't gonna be like one of them Karens. Like, oh my gosh, like they ain't serving me, Mountain Dew on a platter, and you know what I mean. Like, there's
yeah.
always going to be
No,
some locations that are better than others. Of course, some might have restaurants by them, or then
yeah.
some might be like Dallas. But hey, at the end of the day, it's somewhere you can park that truck and not have to be woke up or have to worry that you know that
Wake up to a boot or
you get
something.
there. Yeah, because usually when you get there, is obviously when you're buying a parking at that point, you're exhausting all your hours, and so at that point, then you're fucking with your HOS and
Yeah, yeah. Like like you mentioned, I'm glad you see it. We have some locations that are just empty lots, and we hope that it explains it very well. Hey, this is just an empty lot, and it's just a photo of an empty lot. And for some people, that works. An empty dry van, they come in, they drop it off for a week, and go run another load, and that's a help in itself. Um, but then we also have the high security locations, kind of like where you're at right now, right? Memphis. That's a good location. So we have a little bit of everything. And do you feel like the app tells you relatively well, like what you're getting?
of course, yeah, you got the little check mark. So now like I'll pull it up right now. So say if I wanted to get a spot for the night and I trip planned and I noticed, and I love how the app is it seems like it keeps on doing like right there, like you've made it to where it shows how many spots you got and all that. Well, of course you can't see it, but you already know how your app works. But the
No, I appreciate it, man.
just like browsing spaces, like say I want to go to this one in Albert Lee, Minnesota, and then right there, bam, 24-hour access lights, restroom, porta potty, oversized, personal car lab, repair shop, cameras, and like it literally shows everything. There's the questions call, and I love your ladies that I have dealt with over the phone, man. They're just amazing.
Yeah, we're really crazy about making sure that the customer, our drivers, our what we call trucker members, have a great experience. We're just absolutely like, if we're not doing a good job of that, what are we doing? Why are we in the business? Um, so we hire, former drivers in our customer service, which we call our customer care team, and um, we want to make sure, technology isn't always perfect, but you need to get parked. And if, let's say, there's an issue with your internet or there's an issue with our app or whatever the case may be, we still want to make sure you have a great experience. We want to get you parked. And when you call in, you're not talking to someone that's never driven a truck or never dealt with truck drivers or understand the frustrations that comes with finding parking at 8 p.m.
Sure,
That's what we want to make sure that our trucker members are taken care of, and truly mean that. And I think we live it. Um,
your
uh,
colleague that set this up told me about that, and I because I realized that, and I was like, because you already know how some drivers can the the dark humor of some of them, they can just be jackasses and everything, and just to see that what you're doing to go out of the way to hire X, truck drivers to hire X, like the I forgot the dispatcher lady's name, but like she was
yeah,
saying that she's been
genuine.
doing it for a long time and she's really good at her shit, but it's just you know like obviously I've seen because I used to also work at Love, so I saw that aspect too. Like you got those that are just complete total. I told her last night when she was helping me book this one, uh, or when I was talking to her the other day, and the dispatcher one. No, I was helping my buddy. No, I got a friend right beside me. Amy and her girlfriend. They were over at some spot off Lamar, and I was like, "Shit, why don't you come over here with me?" And then and see, I love telling people about it, and like I paid for them a spot because until someone tells them about it, or if they just find a TikTok or something, they don't know nothing about truck parking club. So
Yeah,
like
I
I've
appreciate that.
I love telling my friends about it, and then it's like she said last night, "Man, send me the app," and then of course I copy the text message, but that's what it's all about. And of course, like you getting the ex truck drivers, and then of course us on the road, we look out for one another, and you know, and I don't deal with that bullshit like on trucker path. Like the number one complaint you'll find on everything, guaranteed. You go like the Texarkana pilot with it's got the Texas best. Man, you got so many Karens out here. The first thing say, "Oh, you got to pay $15 a night." Get your Karen ass home because at the end of the day, at least it's somewhere just like Truck Park Club. If you don't want to do it, fine. Drive somewhere, go park on the on ramp and get pulled. Have the trooper pull up on you, and either you can't park there, and he knows your curtains, and you're fucking around, and he wants to do a level one inspection. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna always find the ones that are bitching, just like on Trucker Path. You can find the reviews, and you have to take reviews with the grain of salt because you got the trucker that's making a bad review over. Oh, it's you got to pay $15 to park, but the barbecue's good. But he gave 1 star. It's like that makes no sense. So
Yeah, yeah, and that brings up a couple questions I have. So we're seriously considering um, adding a lot of free locations. We're considering it. So we have the rest stops on there now at like 143 locations or something. But what do you think about if we, took, there's a few thousand locations that we could get pretty quickly, and add, I don't even know if we would do reviews on them. I think it would just be like, hey, here's an option that we know is a place where truckers can park at this restaurant or this motel, but it's park at your own risk, no guarantees. It's
where it
um
be advertised on the app.
it would just be on the app for free as a free service. There would be no charging. There would be, at this point, we wouldn't even be doing like advertising or anything like that. It would just be on there as another option. It's just not a guaranteed option, right? And it's just, hey, we believe this to be a good or a free spot to go see if there's parking available, but who knows if there is or not. What do you think about if we added that?
My one thing is the same ones that are being Karens. I'd be scared about the ones that have an issue with paying, because usually the ones that have an issue with paying are your ones that are also not talking about companies, but like the, my only fear of that one would be the ones that are gonna either make a bad name for drivers and leave trash and stuff around, not pick up after themselves. I guess I'm looking at it in a big spec because usually, in my opinion, the drivers that don't give a shit about pay, they're usually better about. Like, you've seen some of these spots, how trash and everything, and then of course that makes just a bad name for drivers because people open up spots or receivers open up spots like Oscar Mayer. Uh, they had a place where you could park. It's ridiculous. It's a nice concrete pad so you can get up there, and then they don't care if you drop. But I mean, it's going to get to the point where they just stop it because there's piss jugs, there's garbage bags, there's all kind of shit. That would be my only concern on a free one. I mean, because I think you can agree, just like at every major truck stop with free, there's trash cans everywhere, but yet there's always somehow there happens to be Walmart bags of trash and everything. That'd be my only thing, because then that'd look bad for truck drivers, but that'd also look bad for truck parking club if those people uh, allow if you work that in, or I don't even know if that would be a partnership with you and that company or whatever. But that'd be my only opinion and fear is that, and and I'm being very like just honest when I say that. It's
Yeah.
I would be scared about the ones because obviously because then if someone messes it up, you got that one that messes up for everybody, and then they stop allowing trucks to park because you got some that can't pick up after themselves.
Yeah. I think what we were thinking is it's as simple as like you, it's just going to be like a pin on the map, and it's like you know, this is a Motel 8 or whatever that has five parking spots, may or may not be available. Park at your own risk or whatever, and just have that location like that. It's not necessarily like it is not a relationship like Truck Parking Club has with our
I got
guaranteed
you.
spots. It's just like, hey, you might be able to swing by here and park for an hour or two, which may be a better alternative if you just need to swing in somewhere
I would
rather than, if you need to reserve for a day at a high secure
sure.
facility. It's just another option that, because at the end of the day, if you can find decent free parking, um, I don't know.
I'm,
There's
I'm,
just an internal battle of like if we should be including it or not.
well, I mean, I think that's admirable of you wanting to do that and make it because you're obviously thinking about other drivers, and I could tell, and that's pretty awesome. I would just uh, at the end of the day, I think it'd be awesome, but I would just be. I'm over here just seeing what some spots look like, and then you also got the ones, you know, some drivers obviously don't know about truck parking club, and I feel like that's ones that won't pay. So I think you've already got probably a very good group of people on they use the app more likely, but uh, and then I'd worry about the over parking because like you got some that you tell them about, like I did a thing on Trucker Path talking about parking available at R&L, and it was a spot literally drivers could park, and well, everybody on Trucker Path saw free parking in Atlanta,
Yeah,
and yeah, they turn around and fuck that up for everybody
shut it
because I
down.
I had it on Trucker Path as a parking spot, and some people don't get the idea of when it's full, and then they just park wherever they want, and then now drivers can't really park there anymore because the yard dogs running them off.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
it's an interesting dilemma that we're trying to figure out because we think there's something to, giving away information like that, for certain scenarios, but also like you just said, um, what if you just ruin it for everybody by making it by showing it on the app, like the RNL that you mentioned, and people start stacking in there.
yep,
Um,
that
our
or just
next
the trash,
iteration, what were
the
you saying?
stacking. No, I was just saying like the trash, and then the stacking where people are just going to be parking wherever the fuck they want, and then that's going to
Yeah.
just it's like, you know
So,
what?
huh?
I was just joking, Then the people like, you know what? Y'all get the fuck out.
Yeah. And then, well, we like with the team talking through it with people like our customer care team, and we thought, well, maybe at those locations that become extremely popular, we could turn them into a truck parking club verified location where we go and we put in the work of like, hey, this you can only put, 10 spots here and we're going to price it at whatever, $10 a night. Now it's a truck parking club verified location. And then the property owner is incentivized to make sure that the location runs well, and it formalizes it a little bit more. So then you're not going to lose that supply because people stack in 20 trucks and 10 and park in front of each other and throw out trash. Uh, we've seen that once we make something a truck parking club verified location, like it runs really smoothly.
Yeah,
We've got
and
a
that's cool. That
yeah,
idea, like
so we
when you
don't lose it, hopefully. Um, but we like to talk through these things and get feedback and think about it. But I think in those scenarios, maybe with the really popular locations, we would go in, have the team go out and make it a verified location.
now on the free ones, that would be another cool feature too to make it an option in the app to report how many spots are available. That'd be pretty nice.
Yeah,
Kind of like Trucker Path where you can. I don't know the realm of what that would be on your end on IT, but like just a way that obviously you see the spot and then maybe to notify other drivers that hey this is full, but that also gives y'all good feedback that hey this some bitch is full every night, like
yeah,
it's at full capacity, and then then y'all can do the make it a verified location. No, that'd be pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. So we're looking into that pretty deeply at this point. We don't want to lose our brand, though. We don't want to become a trucker path. We want to really maintain what we have and what we're known for, high quality customer service. And
Sure.
um, do you think so? You think the user updated location, like space availability, is useful?
Yeah. Bro, I love your app. You can tell like you didn't make this app overnight. You put
Yeah, it's been the result of just a lot of feedback from trucker members and property members, like just like this conversation, just talking through things and understanding and taking feedback. And I mean, we never want it to be like flashy. We just want it to be efficient and useful. And because at the end of the day, we believe that, truckers just want to get parked like easily, right? And taken care
I,
of.
I do like I do like this feature. I guess I've just realized it, but where it actually on the map when you start the app, where it's starting to show the spots available on each location on the little map, where it's got the browse spaces, and then right below it you got the map where you can view. I love that. I love that fucking map, dude. And then now it's showing the actual spots available on. It looks like on some locations, but that's dope. Now, I did ask a buddy because when I got told I was invited to do this, he, which of course, uh, he was telling me, uh, I said, "You got anything up?" But he said, Northeast is, of course, the United States is a whole big thing. But he was telling me that I ought to hit at the Northeast. I didn't realize we didn't have any spots in Arkansas,
Yeah.
Arkansas, Arkansas, Louisiana, ghost towns.
Yeah, so we made the loop there. Memphis to what was it, Little Rock to Texarkana to Shreveport to Jackson. And I know there's a pretty sure there's a Texarkana one that is sitting in our system right now that should be approved like any day. And I know we've got a couple different ones in Little Rock that we've been talking with the owners for a while. And hopefully soon.
Oh, so
Um,
y'all actually go out and do the legwork and find these properties and try to. That's nice.
yeah,
Because
so
I thought you had to wait on drop like people to say, "Hey, I wanna team up with Truck Parking Club," but y'all go do the legwork and try to work it out with the property owners.
yeah, we try to do some outbound. So like that's the van, right? We take the van out. Um, we took it out to like Reno and Vegas, and then when we drive, we will we're always looking in locations like especially Arkansas where it's like we need more. We need more locations, and the team will go and I'm with them a decent amount, and we'll go and stop in at a bunch of locations and try to get more. I think the majority comes from just being active online, um, but we also go try to get him um, as well because there's a good amount of property owners that are never going to be on TikTok or
Sure.
something, So we have to, we found a handful of properties that the property owners would have never found us if we hadn't just pulled up and just shook their hand and talked to them. Um, and then you take a property that's just sitting there and turn it into parking, and these property owners are amazed. They're just like, wow. Because we just have a loyal following now with the app. So when we add a location, we can start getting property owners bookings like the same day. Um, and then trucks start parking there, and they're like, "This is great. This is cool." Yeah. So and then truckers are happy because they have another option. So um, we want to just keep building on that. I do have another question that kind of like the free parking thing that we're thinking very hard about. So we're getting approached a lot by these like small independent truck stops to take their parking and turn it into paid parking. Um, so like these independents will have like 10 spots or 20 spots or 50 spots. Um, we have a good amount that are reaching out now and just saying, yeah, let's make 10 spots paid or half the spots, 20, 30 spots paid. Um, and I think it's another internal battle of like, technically we're taking free parking and turning it into paid parking. And that I think gives everybody on the team like a little bit of like it's tough because we're not trying to our mission is to create more parking. Our real mission is to help truckers save time and fuel by efficiently finding and reserving truck parking across the US and taking free parking at an independent truck stop and turn it into paid parking doesn't really align with that, like doesn't really have anything much to do with
Sure.
that mission necessarily. So it's tough for us, but then it's revenue, right? We'll make money on it, but then it's
Sure.
like, do you destroy the brand by being the face of taking these small independent truck stops and turning them into paid parking? Because I'm telling you right now, they're going to do it. They're once a few of them have found out about us, they're like, we want to do this. So our thought is, are we going to destroy our brand? And also, um,
I mean,
yeah, I
I
guess
could I could see where some drivers would think that, be like, "Fuck, that used to be free." But I look at the positive too, though. Like that driver that's out of hours, he pops in this little truck stop, and because you already think about it in your head that yeah, that they might have been free, but you think about the positive on it too, though, that you know, prior to maybe it being paid, uh, it used to be a just a anywhere, people park anywhere because usually this mom and pops usually don't have somebody like some of the TAs or pilots do at the busy locations where they're having a guy on a golf cart drive around and check receipts.
Yeah.
Whereas, that I think that could be awesome. But then also, what would your response be as a driver if you're paying for a spot because you're out of hours service? Because of course that's always the thing. I love the trip plan, but when you're talking about free parking, you can never really trip plan because it's kind of like if you know that you're on the schedule where you're going to be stopping at 4 or 5 o'clock, then you're just like,
Yeah.
it's kind of hit or miss. But
Yeah.
uh, so say you bought a paid spot at one of these, what it would the steps be? Because obviously this is I'm at a secure spot, but
A
at
little
those
bit
spots
different.
like the mom and pop truck stop, would there be a partnership, or would you call customer service? Would there be a partnership with the local towing company? Like, and in worst case scenario, like what would you do in those?
Yeah. So for those we call them high volume locations, we have a couple now. Like we took a McDonald's reached out to us that had like 13 spaces and people were just dropping trailers. They weren't even using the McDonald's. And they reached out to us and we turned it into a pretty cool facility where it's like 13 spaces and people just go in and take their tents and then they use the restaurant and then they go on their way and no one drops trailers or anything anymore. But what we would do is something similar to that where it's park then pay. So we like you've already experienced is if you reserve at a high frequency location where trucks are coming and going constantly, it's impossible to keep a trucker out of your reserve spot. I mean, outside of you got a steel beam that sits at like rises up in the middle of it where you literally can't park there, or like, I mean, even if you block it off with a cone, it doesn't work.
Sure,
So reserving, hours or days in advance is a very tough thing to do unless that property owner is all in on as soon as something gets reserved, they keep up with it and make sure that at 8 p.m. there's a spot there for you, which can become pretty difficult to implement through just using your employees at the location because they have too many other things going on to worry about some parking spaces. So what we do is let's say there's 10 parking spaces at this independent truck stop. We would set it up with signage and everything, and it would show 10 spaces available. A guy pulls in, and the sign will have a QR code or a text to pay, or you can call in and book. And when they get done booking, it will show 9 spaces available. So then you're always going to have a pulse on how much availability is at that truck stop, and you're not going to have the worries of you show up and someone's parked in your spot that you've already paid for. What's going to happen is, if there's 9 spaces available, there's essentially 100% chance that you're going to have parking. When you get down to the lower numbers, if someone's pull in and parked, and there's one space available, maybe they pull in and pull in like 5 minutes before you or something, but
right.
at least you have a pulse on the availability. Uh, but at most locations, they're not going to be able to implement reserves and it be reliable. I don't think. Um, it would just be you would be able to look at the app and know like there's X number of spaces available, um, and be able to be constantly updated on if it's going to be a reliable spot. I think that's the best we can do. Uh,
I
to
like that.
Yeah, I think it's better than nothing.
Sure.
Um, it's not as perfect as reserve, but there's just not any like we would rather not do reservable if it's not going to be reliable. I mean, it seems like, Pilot, Flying J, like they're kind of destroying their brand by giving people reservable parking. They show up and they've already paid for it and they don't have any space.
Yeah,
Um,
and then you go in and like their whole terms and conditions like that pissed me off. TA Tuscaloosa, like they're not TA but pilot, and I was like, bro, you're not even gonna like that. I don't know. That pissed me off
Yeah.
because you already know. A funny thing, I had a situation like that. A guy wanted to get in a fight with me, like a Jamaican guy, over parking. Like they wouldn't come out. So obviously, I had my buddy on the phone, and he was like, "Boy, you doing too much." I was like, "Bruh," it's like, what do I do? Like, I'm out of hours. Like, and ultimately, I PC'd, but to down the road to another stop and found a spot, but like I'd already paid for a spot. The manager was more worried about other shit, and then you got me knocking on a door with no receipt. Some Jamaicans guy, and then he telling me that he ain't gonna move, that I can drive his truck, and then ensued in a pushing match and like
Wow.
over parking, bro.
Crazy.
But see, that's where the struggle. Like, you got so many drivers that don't have respect for other drivers, and like, and I guess I was raised off if you know didn't pay for it. Like that's kind of dishonesty on his side too. But he obviously don't give a shit. But that's that's also a thing that we as drivers fight with too. Is you got drivers like that are putting bad names because he's the one that doesn't think he has to pay for anything, or it's just doing whatever the hell he wants. But you know, that's
Yeah.
just kind of
No. It's we really we want to make a dent in it. We want to create more parking, make it easier, and we're really working toward that, trying to.
I like your brand, like your competition, like that rig part. I found them before you because Rufus had got a spot in Tennessee somewhere. But
Mhm.
like, bro, you like, yeah, like your apps. I don't even use rig part, but for one rig part, I don't think they do the leg work like you're doing. So I mean, I think it's pretty cool what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate it. I think we got 162 locations now, so and we want to get to a few thousand. And I think when we're at a few thousand, that's when we'll be able to, you'll be pretty reliably able to use us anywhere you go. That's the goal. That's what we're shooting for. So we're going to try to grow pretty quickly and have a big network out there.
Have
Um,
you have you thought about going to? You might have already gone, but have you gone to the some of them trucking shows like the Joplin and the stuff like
yeah,
that?
we were just there.
Really? No
We were at
shit.
Joplin. Yeah.
I was wanting to go. I didn't. I followed that beautiful badass trucker on TikTok, and I was like, and I was because I was wanting to meet her. She drives for Bowers Trucking out of Ponca City, Oklahoma, and
Hmm.
and then yeah, I was because we were just talking. I was thinking of ways to let other drivers know, but that's cool. I'm guessing y'all took one of the Sprinter vans out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
Yeah,
at the
nice,
first one. They were just at Mayberry.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. The truck shows are great. I mean, that's where we get to meet guys, and talk with them about what they're experiencing, where we can help, where do they need parking, what do they not like about what we're doing. We'll get one or two guys come by and be like, I only do free parking or whatever, and after 5 minutes, they're like, okay, I understand a little bit more about what you're doing, and I'm not against it. we we had a guy one time come up to us at the truck show. He's like, I only do free parking. And like, why? Yeah, understood, and I get it. If we're not against free parking, if you can find free parking, you should take it. And I was like, but if you need to drop a trailer or drop your truck and trailer somewhere reliable, or you can't find a free spot, we're probably a good fit for that. And he's like, you mean I could just like book through the app and drop a trailer for a few days? I was like, yeah, yeah, you could do that. And it's gonna be tough to do that at a truck stop. And he's like, man, he's like, I was just like, and by the end of the conversation, he's like, I didn't make 4 grand the other day because I had this awesome load I could have taken. I needed to drop a trailer for like a week or something. And I was like, yeah, man, that's us. Like that's the value. That's where you're gonna get some value from us. So by the end of the conversation, the guy was like all in. Um, you know, it's a weird fine line, right? And it kind of goes back to like the truck stop thing where it's like I think how our team is thinking about the truck stop thing is like we're taking free parking to paid parking. These truck stop owners want to do it. Trust me. They're like wanting to do it. And if we don't do it as Truck Parking Club, which we believe our whole company is designed around being trucker centric and doing the right thing for the trucker and taking care of the trucker to have a good experience. If we don't do it, I can assure you another company will. You
or
know,
they're just going to do it themselves.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And we, how we've created the company just being so trucker centric and having truckers on the team that keep us accountable. Trust me, they if we make decisions and our customer, like our former truck drivers, don't like it that work with us, we know really quick, and then and yeah, it's awesome. No, it's the way it should be, right? Because sometimes you can make business decisions that don't make sense for the trucker, and then it's like, Tracy runs our customer care team, and every conversation she's involved in big decisions because she gets it, she understands, and she's like, no, we can't do that. I'm like, why? And then we talk through it, and it's like, we'll not do things a lot of times because it's like this isn't the right thing for the trucker. And so with all that being said, like the truck stop thing is been a big one we've been talking about. And if we don't do it, someone's going to do it.
Sure.
Um, so
I
it's
agree
like,
with that.
and I can almost guarantee you they don't give a shit. Um, like
I agree.
whatever company puts it in, it's going to be dollars and cents and no customer service. And you know, we feel like we're positioned a little bit differently than that. Um, so we'll see. I think we'll roll it out at like a small number of locations and kind of see how it goes. And if we don't feel like it reflects on our mission, then we'll probably drop it. But we'll see.
I get what you're saying. You don't want it to turn into like a prime parking a pilot or TA reserve. Like I get, because then you're gonna have some drivers looking at it that y'all are just out here to make. Well, I mean, you're a business. Obviously, y'all need to make profit margins, but at the same, I get your conflict is you're gonna have those drivers. But I mean, hell, bro, you download Trucker Path on your phone and you can see all of them.
Yeah.
See the reviews. Like, there's like no shit, man. I can't like. You would go to the one of the coolest truck stops, and the number one thing someone's gonna bitch about how there ain't enough parking, or someone's gonna bitch that they charge for parking. I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we do I'll do like, have you heard of Trucker Solutions Group on like Facebook? I think it's like 1,000 or so truckers in a group, or a few thousand truckers. I'll go on webinars with them and talk to them, and they're all like, um,
Trucking solutions.
yeah, it's like Trucker Solutions Group on Facebook. They'll do like a weekly call and just talk about things going on in trucking, and they'll have me on every once in a while. And the overwhelming consensus of those guys is like, we'll pay, we'll pay for parking. We don't want to mess with the issues that come with trying to find free parking. If you do find it, then you get hit by someone backing in. Like they're like, we just don't want to mess with it. It's worth the $20 to not have to deal with it. And like they're raving fans and they use us everywhere. But
In
um,
Whitfield, Virginia, they got a there was a long nose. He a guy was backing up, and he was going backing up, going underneath, but he didn't. The kid didn't get out and look, but he tore off the breather on a 389, ripped that bitch clean off, and I was like, bravo. I mean, I've never seen that shit before, but like, I promise you that Peterbilt, he was throwing his ass. He was.
uh,
I felt bad for both. But I was like, damn, like you didn't
yeah,
feel that. Talking about the driver, because I'm sorry, but like, yeah,
yeah, it's some people don't want to deal with it, and but also, it's kind of give and take. I'm sure there's a good amount of free parking that probably doesn't come with too many crazy things, but some of it does. I've heard some crazy stories. Um, okay.
or the only free parking left at some of those locations are very tight or whatnot, and then yeah, yeah, man, I love what you're doing, and
Yeah, I appreciate your time. I think round it out with this, and you kind of hit on some things already, but what could we improve? Um, what could we what could we improve that you've seen that is annoying, maybe on the app or um
I like your app, so you won't hear any complaints. I mean, honestly, like I'm trip planning, and I'm looking like it's not. I mean, I love it. I mean, at the end of the day, you won't really find like I think you're doing a great job in your mission. Like you can tell you're genuine. So like right now, like there ain't no reason to hate the app. The uh and I of course I like I like the fact when I was a shop supervisor with Lowe's before I came trucking, and I got tired of that atmosphere because it was very stressful on is on that. And then I decided to become a truck driver, and I tell you, I love it. And it's a lot of these guys think it's stressful out here, but I guess just because of working at Love's for 8 years and seeing that side and how you know them district managers driving up in their Silverado wanting that place to look like a manicure golf course, which I get it, but like they know how to mind fuck you and just stress you out where you're not getting sleep. And like as a truck driver, I get to do what I want, and I get it's fun. Like it's not for everybody. It's definitely a lifestyle, but I guess that's what makes me look at things a different way because I saw I saw a lot of issues like even at Love's, and I worked two below Batesville, and I guess that kind of followed with me, and it makes me look at stuff a different way than the truck driver that never really had a job, and he was 21, became a truck driver because of the decent money we make out here, if you know what I mean, where you can just drop in and get your CDL. Because some of them that get their CDL, they don't have any respect for the other driver. They're all about me, me, me. And but I
yeah.
mean, my honest opinion, just from a guy that's had the outlook as loves and then truck driver, and then of course prior to even seeing your company, I think you're doing great. You don't need to be worrying yourself about like that paid parking shit. I mean, I can genuinely tell you're doing what you think's best for us. So just follow your heart and do what you think's best, and then see what happens. Because I mean, just kind of like you said with those small mom and pop ones, if you don't do it, someone else going to do it, or they're just going to do it themselves and just pocket the money. Whereas if you're doing it, it's going to put it on you know, of course, the platform.
We'll
Um,
be able to see the availability and it'll run
yeah,
smoother. It'll run a lot smoother than some manager out there trying to do it on a notepad.
yeah.
Um,
But I mean,
so
that's why I'm like, I really don't have any complaints. Like I was honored that you wanted to talk to old Mitchell,
uh,
like when she
no,
called me, I listened to her voicemail. I was like, shit. All right,
no, I loved like I just noticed the in our admin, I noticed the diversity of like the bookings that you had, and I was like, that's awesome. That's the mission for us, right? It's like if you're in Dallas or Memphis or LA or Newark, New Jersey, or Atlanta, like you are, if we have some availability, you're using us because you see the convenience that we can provide. And so like I I really, wanted to hear what your thoughts were and wanted to get some feedback from you. So it means a lot and it means the world. It's because of members like you, trucker members like you that makes the company be successful and grow. And I appreciate all the referrals to your friends and stuff. That's awesome. Really
yeah.
means the world.
we we
I
gotta
don't
look
know.
out for one.
What were you saying?
I said we gotta look out for one another.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't know if Tracy mentioned it, but we'll credit your account for chatting with me for a minute.
What? Like
$50.
she already she man, you ain't gotta do all that.
Yeah,
How you get
absolutely. No, we take
what is
care.
that?
No, we want to take care of you guys.
What is that Richardson hat you got on there?
Yeah, yeah. So, um, if you will, text me your address that you'd want to send some swag to. We'll send you a swag bag. We have hats and shirts and phone chargers. So send me what size shirts and what size or what type phone chargers you need, and we'll send you a box
Yeah.
of all kinds of stuff for sure, man. And then
I'm I'm a hoe for them Richardson hats. I love
I
those.
do. I can't. I've gotten the habit of like I'll go to these, like suit and tie type logistics conferences, and I'll wear my hat with my suit. I don't care. I don't care. I'm so like used to wearing one. I just don't even like
Sure.
take it off.
And then I look at myself without a hat, and I was like, bro, where's my hat?
Yeah,
I can't
exactly.
start the day without my hat.
Exactly. Dude, I'm the same way. My hat and headset. Like
There you go. Yeah, my headset's on my trucker headset, and then like whenever I'm down or watching a movie, I like to do it like with my AirPods, but kind of like what you were joking around earlier. Like they're yeah, the AirPods they ain't it. The Amy she loves them aftershocks and bone conducting.
yeah.
It's trippy. It's kind of weird because
I haven't tried one. I know what you're talking
man,
about.
it sits over the ears and then it just like bone conducting. I don't know. It's weird. It's like
Yeah. I haven't tried one, but I've heard. I guess they work pretty well, though.
oh yeah, she loves them and they're great. I mean they're version 2 or whatever now, but
Hmm. Well, hey man, I appreciate your time. I feel like we could probably keep going for a while, but I don't want to.
okay,
I
man.
think you gotta go, right? You're headed out somewhere.
No, well, I mean I'm chilling. We're probably gonna grab something to eat later, and they're probably still asleep. But the probably gonna head out here. I'm only like 8 hours away from where I'm going.
You're running a load. Where are you going?
Wisconsin up
Gotcha,
there, Madison, Wisconsin.
gotcha. I think we might have something for you up there. I don't know about if it's around Madison though. Oh,
I got a bunch of phones back there.
oh yeah,
Yeah, don't. Yeah, but
literally.
they didn't even put a damn seal on it, and it's literally a Samsung phone load, and it's like, bruh,
Wow, great
if
experience.
if somebody knew what I got, like I'm hijacked.
Yeah, yeah. You got a good spot there in Memphis. I've been met those guys. That's a good
You been to
location.
Memphis before?
Yeah, I've been to that location.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
those
Well,
property owners, huh?
you already know them. Memphis, like, bruh, like
Yeah,
I will PC to fucking Holly Springs, Mississippi to take a shower. But
yeah,
Lamar, them ladies, they were working hard. If you know, they were working hard yesterday. Talk
yeah.
about man, it's rough. Talk about them damn the lot lizards, man. They work Lamar. Oh man, shit,
Wow,
horrible. And then
wow,
of course, Memphis is dangerous. Though there was a driver
yeah.
killed, and he was a day cab driver, shot. And I don't play with Memphis.
Yeah, no, that's we actually didn't want to have really any locations there because we knew it would turn into something. There'd be a problem. But these guys reached out and that's a great facility and I trust them and we went by there
Oh
and,
yeah,
and met with them.
it's
And
secure.
they're yeah, yeah, you're good there. I have a lot of confidence in that location, so that's why we have it, but we're not going to just add any location in Memphis.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. But hey,
Yeah,
it's just like I like Memphis in a way like like the Memphis police, like they over police, like say the Bass Pro Pyramid. Like that's one spot in Memphis, you're good because they even
yeah,
got Memphis police is literally the security there. So it's like, but
yeah.
I love Memphis Pyramid, and I was talking about with some friends like getting they got those cabins inside that you can get a cabin, and I've eaten there before at that the sky rise at the top of the pyramid. Man, I love the pyramid, but that's like, but you talking about driving around like. I made a wrong turn on L Street one time, and I quickly backed up and whipped a bitch in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
like,
think yeah, like Memphis definitely it's a cool like I've heard like there's definitely cool parts of the city. I think for us just talking strictly like we don't want to get into like a
sure,
theft issue or something. So we're just very cautious about like where
I couldn't agree more. And I'm sure, just like with a lot of other cities, it's just like a in a four wheeler, like you can tell over there by the pyramid, like you can tell that the police and the Memphis, I guess, government, they just put more security and they put more money into that area by the bridge and everything. And I think Bell Street and FedEx Forms over there too. But they you can tell they put more money over there, and then you go on these other sides, and then you're like, get me out of here.
yeah, it's kind
I'm
of
glad they finally got the road done, man. You'd have to get a whole new. If you came in a pickup truck or something, it was bad in a truck too. But man, Lamar used to be terrible. Pothole central.
mm,
Man, you'd have to get some new suspension, get a new alignment.
uh,
I ain't trying to tuck your head off, man.
no, no, Dave, this has been great. This has been great. I really appreciate you. Your it is members like you that are a big reason on why we're been successful as a company. We're growing quickly and we got some really just loyal members that man last thing we never get complaints from our property members about our drivers ever. I,
Nice.
I mean thousands and thousands of bookings and we've gotten one call and that guy ended up just being a tough property owner but nothing like I don't even believe it. It's so like no crash complaints, nothing. It's crazy. But
Oh,
we I think we kind of just created a bit of a culture with the brand and the app and what we stand for and what we put out on social media, and we mean it. We
yeah.
mean it. So
Well, just
uh,
like we agreed, you got those ones that don't believe in paid parking, but then the ones that do, the ones that don't want to get their shit took off, or the ones that are like, I'm not going to try to fight or get a spot at say the Loves off Lamar, or or this or that. Like, you were so convenient. Like I ran out of hours at my pickup. I and it wasn't really about the fact of loads, because how many trailers don't have steel, but it's just like, but uh I wanted somewhere safe, somewhere good park, and I wasn't going to depend on Loves, because Loves, if you go to that Loves off Lamar, it's always full. I will stop in there to take a shower, and that's about it. I mean, because it's always full. But like, found you on the app, booked me a spot, and called it a day.
yes, sir. We appreciate you, and you got my number now. So I texted you
Thank
earlier,
you.
so you can always shoot me a text if you got something going on that you want to talk about the app and stuff. But as far as bookings and stuff, the girls will take care of you much better than I can.
5211, that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Wow.
That's me. So if you ever
Yeah.
want to, if you ever have a suggestion or hey, we need parking in this area, it's like there's nothing out here, and we need you to find a property owner that'll open something up or whatever. Like, let me know. I'm all ears, man. I
Yeah.
really mean that. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, you have a good rest of your day. Have a safe drive up north.
Yeah.
And once again, really appreciate you, and we'll credit your account today.
Not necessary.
Well, no.
You shoot me a Richardson hat like that. Hey.
We're gonna get you a Richardson hat too. Yeah, for sure. Hey, don't forget to text me an address that you want me to send it to, and
Sure.
we'll get it
I
sent
got you.
out next week.
Man, appreciate you, buddy. It was
Yes,
nice
sir.
talking to you.
Appreciate you, man. I'll see you
Have a
later.
good one.
You
Yeah.
too. Bye.